I presume you're here in order to learn of Magecraft. I'll have you know, there's no room for the weak-willed in this course, and despite your best efforts, the sorcery of our time is but a fraction of what it once was in the Age of Gods. Much of the craft is established through pedigree, and the culture of mages is riddled with deception and moral depravity. That said, if you insist, I shall do my best to educate you in this miserable, yet fascinating world. In our previous lesson, I discussed the meaning behind void as it pertains to the root and imaginary number space. It has both philosophical and tangible implications that mages can make use of. For today, we'll be covering something less practical, yet still relevant from the perspective of mystery. Just like angels, other figures written of in the Bible are worshipped beyond their folklore. Such powerful legends held meaning in the Age of Gods and can still be invoked today. One of these nefarious figures is Sodom's beast, otherwise known as the Whore of Babylon. I intend to look at what the legend entails, how it reflects the history of its time, and how it manifests as both a heroic spirit and beast of humanity. Sodom's beast goes by many other names, such as the Nega Messiah, Antichrist, and sometimes just plain Satan. Its most fitting name is the Beast of Revelation, as it appears in the New Testament under John's Book of Revelation. The works within appear to prophesize an impending apocalypse of epic proportion. Scholars, however, view the legends more humbly, as a representation of Christian oppression at the hands of the Roman Empire. Surely, Revelation was written during a time when Christians underwent religious persecution, leading the author to characterize Rome and its emperors as blasphemic monsters. Chief among them is the Beast of 666, the pinnacle evil for Christianity. It's worth noting that, while the beast is often spoken of as a single entity, it's actually composed of 4 different beasts within the book itself. First is one known simply as the Dragon, who appears as such, but is actually Satan using a dragon's body. The more prominent figure is the Beast of the Sea, described as a creature with 7 heads and 10 horns between them. In some ways, this no doubt harkens back to the Greek Hydra, which could survive and resurrect after having its head sliced off. The dragon gives this beast authority when it emerges from the abyssal ocean. After it recovers from a fatal strike to one of its heads, people begin worshipping the creature, prompting angels to warn of false prophets. Then there is the Beast of the Earth, who actually serves as a false prophet. It emerges from the earth with 2 lamb horns and sings the praises of the sea beast. With a dominant voice, the Earth Beast commands people to worship the sea beast or die, branding everyone with a distinct mark of the beast on their body. Together, these 2 beasts try to turn people away from God, fighting against saints who oppose them. Ultimately, the dragon, false prophet, and sea beast are defeated and cast into a lake of fire, where they will suffer eternal torment. Revelation also mentions a scarlet-colored beast, though its description is identical to that of the sea beast and could well be the same creature with another name. In either case, added to its depiction is a woman figure, the harlot, who rides atop the beast, claiming herself one who reigns over the kings of earth. The beast's heads and horns represent these kings, with each horn bearing a crown that represents humanity's sins and greed. The beasts, along with their armies, are vanquished through the power of Christ, yet symbolically, they continue to signal ill omens even in the present day. Blasphemy incorporates many things that seem to violate God's will or denounce His name. To go against God's will is to commit sin, as the people of 2 towns, Sodom and Gomorrah, learned through force. Being known for hosting unholy atrocities, they provoked God's anger and were destroyed. It is no wonder then that wicked mages may try to invoke these legends for their own ends. For example, a heretic cardinal once got hold of a holy grail and used it in a grail war to manifest the beast in his modern era. This paralleled the Zoroastrian legend of Angra Mainyu tied to the grail wars of Fuyuki, Japan. Mind you, this term beast is being used quite vaguely to refer to any monstrous creature. The beasts of humanity, covered in earlier lessons, are a more specific phenomena, and they can drastically vary in their appearance. The Cardinals' Grail War could unite both interpretations of the beast, incarnating Revelation's beast as the sixth beast of humanity. One of the war's masters, a young girl named Monica Saggio, actually succeeded in summoning Beast 6. She and her saber servant won the war, filling the Grail with the other 6 defeated servants. Taking things a step further, Monica began to sacrifice captive girls, as well as her own father, to bring about the beast. She claimed this was to fulfill her servant's wish, yet was surprised to find herself killed by his sword. The emblematic King Arthur betrayed Monica after discovering her true intent. The beast then, on the verge of incarnation, flew into a violent rage and was nearly destroyed by the light of Excalibur. It is now Arthur Pendragon's duty to travel between worlds to slay Beast 6 once and for all. To clarify, Beast 6 is one of those rare cases in which the seat is taken by 2 different entities. The beast that Arthur hunts is classified as Beast 6G, or Beast Gamora. This, of course, implies that there's a separate Beast 6S, or Sodom's beast. After all, we should expect the Beast of Revelation to be a vilified form of Rome. While the woman, this whore of Babylon, seems like a strange presence, the 7 heads can each be attributed to one of the 7 hills of the Roman Empire, and the 10 horns have each been associated with specific Roman emperors, the most infamous being Nero Claudius. Tying this together is the beast's number 666. In both Greek and Hebrew numerology, letters have their own corresponding numeric values. Essentially, words can be translated into numeric form and vice versa. Humans today mostly pair the number 666 with the devil, but originally it was the numeral equivalent of Neron Caesar, Nero Caesar's Greek name. So just who is Nero, and why is she so strongly linked to the Antichrist? Well, her full name was Nero Claudius Caesar Augustus Germanicus. She had no claim to the throne until her mother, Agrippina, got remarried to Emperor Claudius and had her adopted as heir to the throne. Agrippina would then murder the emperor and hoist her child up as a puppet figurehead. In that process, Nero suffered most of her life being poisoned and manipulated into doing her mother's bidding. Eventually, she would free herself from these shackles by cutting her mother down in public. Nero's illegitimate birthright caused the Roman Senate to despise and plot against her. This had her focus her campaign on earning praise from her citizens. She was quite popular in that regard, but the tragedies in her life seemed to hold more weight in the public consciousness. Even though she worked to minimize the destruction of Rome's Great Fire, she is still suspected of having caused it. Years of being poisoned left the poor emperor in a state of hysteria, which alienated her even from her most cherished family. Even Rome's citizens, who appeared to adore her, did nothing when the Senate forced her from the throne. Utterly abandoned, she tried to take her own life beneath the setting sun. Each time, she would hesitate, until during one of those sunsets, she finally thrust a knife into her throat. This may seem like a sorrowful tale, but Christians had no sympathy for Rome's 5th emperor. On top of existing persecution, Nero fueled resentment by blaming Christians with starting Rome's fire. Belief that Nero had not truly died and would one day resurrect coincided with the belief that the Antichrist would also be reborn as Belial through Nero's corpse. The tale of Sodom's destruction gives weight to the idea that Rome burned because Nero fashioned it into a place of sin, that she too had incurred God's wrath. To that end, there are 2 sides of Nero that each hold meaning. There is the Nero who ruled a nation flourishing with art and trade, brought to a bitter end by Senate conspirators, and the Nero who oppressed Christians, becoming a satanic icon. The former manifested as a saber-class heroic spirit within the Moon Cell Holy Grail Wars. This Nero led her master Hakuno Kishinami to victory. With access to the Moon Cell automaton, Hakuno gained an absurd level of authority, including the ability to track Nero across different universes. They observe quite a few worlds where Nero is used as the vessel for Sodom's beast. In this form, Nero is a monster who devours prosperous nations at their zenith. By imitating Gaetia's 7 singularities, she hopes to grow from her larval state into a fully formed beast of humanity. That complete form is no doubt powerful, but even in her larval state, where she is known as the bewitching Queen Draco, she harnesses the might of her Babylon Domos Aria, embrace of the golden molten theater. In life, Nero used her theater to share entertainment with the people. Draco, however, traps people within the theater to drown them in despair. She also commands the power of a familiar, the 7-headed Bestia Cacanea, or 7 demonic beast incarnadines. Each one wears a crown representing one of the cardinal sins. In all, there is Superbia of pride, Invidia of envy, Ira of wrath, Acedia of sloth, Avaritia of greed, Gula of gluttony, and Luxuria of lust. They function much like Solomon's demon gods, each used to prop up one of the 7 singularities that Chaldea must face to save humanity. To Draco, these singularities gather sin for mankind's corrupt wishes upon the Grail. By combining these sins with those from other worlds, she plans to ascend as the whore of Babylon with an essential singularity, Lilim Harlot. It symbolizes the apocalyptic end of the universe due to mankind's thirst for comfort and enjoyment. Fortunately for us, Sodom's beast was defeated by Chaldea with the help of Arthur Pendragon, Merlin, and 2 grand servants. Watching this from across worlds, Hakuno Kishinami suffers seeing Nero reduced to such a sorry state. Even though she is not the same Nero that fought with them in the Moon Cell, Hakuno nonetheless wants to redeem Draco by giving her a chance for salvation. This time, arranged into allying with Chaldea's master, Draco must fight her own demonic beast incarnadines. Like Gaetia, they develop a collective will of their own, the rebloomed Bestia Cacanea, and they hope to ascend as Sodom's beast in place of Draco. Initially, Draco nearly succumbs to their might, exacting Nero's latent desire to die. With Ritska's help, however, she chooses to continue living and descends as an alternate form of Nero, one who perseveres through the thrice-setting sun. As the demon beast Emperor Draco, she curses the world that shunned her, refusing to take her own life. Her noble phantasm, Astis Estis Terminal Fire, is a blazing sword that subjugates the Incarnadines. They culminate in a sword technique, Laus Tyranno Claudius, which slays the rebloomed Incarnadines. Sure enough, this is the kind of redemption Hakuno wanted for Draco, as she now has a place in Chaldea's ranks to protect humanity rather than consume it. In summation, Sodom's beast is one of several names describing sinful monsters within the Book of Revelation. Those exaggerated tales vilify the Roman Empire, which persecuted Christians during the era. The emperor most associated with Sodom's beast is Nero, who blamed Christians for the Great Fire of Rome, and whose name literally translates to 666 in Greek and Hebrew numerology. Even though Nero was never actually a multi-headed monstrosity, her infamy allows her to become the vessel for the 6th beast of humanity. Even without a connection to Nero, the Beast of Revelation is a legend famous enough that it can be summoned through Holy Grail Wars, just as Monica tried to do. Overall, the position of Beast 6 is split between these 2 cases, Beast 6 Sodom and Beast 6 Gomorrah. Collectively, they represent all things sinful and anti-Christian. Such concepts remain within the mystery of our time, allowing for Magecraft spells and rituals to theme themselves off the beast in its many forms. For our next lesson, I would like to focus on a different supernatural entity. Specifically, I plan to cover the succubus and her male counterpart, the incubus. Thanks for watching. This channel relies on support from viewers like you.
Please help us out by dropping a like and comment. subscribe for more videos, and be sure to enable notifications. Or hit up our Discord so you never miss out on a new upload.
Most importantly, if you can spare it, please sign up as a channel member, either through YouTube, Patreon, or Subscribestar. You can find links in the description. We've got perks like exclusive content or early access.
Until next time,
Celebrate your fandom. I want to give a special shout out to all my $10 and up supporters: VideoGamer75, Dante Pendragon, Steven Elak, Otaku Mom, Mystic Samurai 1983, Free Brick, Alexis Yukio Gomez Yamato, Lunarworks, Link Pendrago, Observer Bellis, James Hewitt, Uncanny EXP, Crow Calum, Saul Soto, Tristan Riggin, Major, Winter's Edge, Sneer Cachette, Sunbro Torian, Caitlin P, Soguy CH, Sith Lord 906, Vladimirovna, The Taz 96, Kengo X 77, Alistair Bernadotte, and Reason 99. Thank you all so much.